If you are struggling with debt, I'm going to give you the solutions. These are ironclad, tried and true solutions to help you be able to get out of debt. It doesn't matter how much debt you are in. I understand that you are probably having a hard time sleeping. You don't know where to turn. You're watching videos like mine. You're other people reading books. All of this information is just bombarding you. You might be having trouble sleeping at night, and you're just trying to figure out, what can I do to get myself out of this mess that I've created? Well, I'm going to give you the solutions. I'm going to tell you exactly what you can do, regardless of where your situation is at. I'm going to give you solutions that will save your credit. I'm going to give you solutions that will destroy your credit. But that does not matter. What you need to do is what's best for you and your family. Like I said in my 2025 video, that I'm going to be that brother, that uncle, that father figure, that grandpa person, because some of you are a lot younger than me. That brother, I'm going to tell it to you how it is. So go ahead, have a seat. You're in my office. I'm talking to you. I'm about to give you the information because I want you to understand deeply that you need to protect your most valuable asset. What is your most valuable asset? It's you. You are your most valuable asset. If you don't feel good, nothing goes right. If you get depressed, nothing goes right. If you just have a hard time maneuvering through life, none of the stuff that people tell you, that I tell you, is going to work. So I want you to deeply understand that you get yourself, your body, your thought processes, get that pointed in the right direction. And it'll help you be able to make wise decisions on how you need to be able to move forward. Now, in a recent news report, it stated that I think credit card debt, from my memory, had got close to $2 trillion. Maybe it went over $2 trillion in credit card debt that consumers have. No matter what information has been out there, all of the Dave Ramsey, my videos, everything. So there has to be something underneath the cover, something underneath the surface that is affecting people to be able to get out of this debt trap that most people find themselves in, that you are probably finding yourself in. So I'm going to walk you through solutions. I'm going to walk you, I'm going to tell you solutions, and I'm going to break them down so you can understand what each one of them involves, so you can make the right decision moving forward for you and your family. Because if you don't know what to expect, if you don't know what exactly is going to happen, you're going to stay paralyzed. And so what I want you to do is I want you to pull out a piece of paper. Get your piece of paper out. I wrote it down right here. These are my notes. I wrote it down. And what we're going to do, turn my phone down. We're going to put the 5 different decisions. We got 5 decisions. So on your sheet of paper, you see that stick figure? That's you. That's you. The stick figure is you. The first thing that we got to put over the top of that stick figure is we're going to say, I have to start feeling good about myself. If I start feeling good about myself, I'm going to be able to move forward. Don't lie to yourself and say you feel good. If you find yourself in where life is just not going the way that you thought it should be going, somewhere inside of you, you don't feel good about yourself. I had to come to that realization early in my life. I had to deal with it, and I'm here to tell you, if you deal with that, you're going to be able to move forward with information that is presented to you. Because think about it. If someone shows you a way to do something and you don't feel good about following through, and then you wonder, why did it work for someone else? The same information. Why did it work for someone else and it didn't work for you? It didn't work for you because you don't feel that you deserve it. You don't, deep down inside, you don't believe that you even deserve to have anything good happen for you. Now, you may not express it that way, but if you were to look at your life and say, where am I at right now? Do I really feel good? Like, go in your bathroom mirror, look yourself in the mirror. Some people can't even do that. I've counseled people who can't even look at themselves in the mirror and say, do I feel good about where I'm at in my life? Because they know right away that they're lying to themselves. And let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with lying to yourself, because that is a way that we self-medicate to be able to make it through life day to day. But there has to come to a point. There has to come to a point in your life that you decide that you cannot live that way. For me, as an individual, that point came to my life in 1990. Right in 1990, you see that Army picture there? I got out the United States military, and right at that time, around that time, I said, I got to make these changes. I don't care how long, if it took my whole life to have some sort of success, and I'm not talking about financially, I'm talking about family, kids, grandkids, like I was picturing all of this in my mind. I said, that's what I want, and I don't care how long it took. I made a decision. The bridge was burnt behind me, and I was going to do what it takes and work at it on a daily basis. I got my mind right. And then I got my mind right, built the business, and my financial mind wasn't right. In 1994, I had to get my financial mind right. And when I got my financial mind right in 1994, I made decisions like what we're about to go through right now. So now, you got you. And you do what I just told you to do, and then you're going to put these 5 decisions. However you want to do it, if you get 5 sheets of paper, because you might need to take a lot of notes for each decision. So you're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So decision number one, which seems to be the most misunderstood decision that people make, that we all make with some of the things that we decide in our lives not to do. We don't understand that that's a decision. So if you do nothing, if you say, I just can't do it, I don't feel good, I don't believe Steve, whatever it is, and you just don't do nothing, that's making a decision. And I want you to understand completely, when you do nothing, these are the decisions that you're making. Number one, you're giving away your power from within, to give yourself the ability to start feeling better about moving forward in life, even if it's little bitty baby tiny steps. Like my grandson, who is starting to walk, taking tiny baby steps, and then yet last night I saw him run to his father and back to his mother. Now he's taking tiny baby steps and tiny running steps. That's what we go through in life. So if you don't make a decision, let me tell you, you're going to live with bad credit. You know what I say about that. People with bad credit pay more for the same things that people with good credit pay less for. So you're already taking away money that you could be saving to do anything else that you want to do. Next is you're opening yourself up to lawsuits. These companies don't just stand still because you didn't pay them. They're going to sue you. And when you get sued and you get judgments against you, guess what happens next? They're going to garnish your wages. They're going to levy your bank accounts. They're going to take assets. And you might be saying, well, Steve, my car is not paid off. That doesn't matter. What they'll do is they'll do an assessment during your debtor's examination. And you better show up to that debtor's examination, because if you don't, they can put a warrant out for your arrest. Don't take my word on it. Go to the ACLU website and see how these debt collectors are doing this stuff. For a debtor's examination, if they see that you have vehicles, they can say, well, our state allows you to keep one, but we could take the other one. Well, you'd be like, it's not paid off. Oh, that doesn't matter, because we could do an assessment on it, and maybe someone will buy it. We'll pay that vehicle off, take it from you, from this debtor's, from this judgment from the court, and then sell it to someone. And even if we make 1,000 or 2,000 off of the 20 or 30,000 that you owe us, or off of the 5,000, it does not matter. This is the strategy that they're utilizing to be able to collect from people. So if you do nothing, you're actually making a decision to allow all of this stuff, bad credit, lawsuits, garnishment, bank levy. I didn't even speak about bank levy. You can wake up in the morning and they've either frozen your account or taken money straight out of your bank account. You do not want to allow that type of stuff to happen. So in that number one, what we're doing is we're getting a complete understanding about decision number one, which is not to do anything. You got that? You got that. Say yes. Thank you. All right. So do we got it? Do we have a full understanding of what decision number one means? Okay. I'm trusting you on this. You're shaking your head. Yes. Shake your head. Yes. I see you shaking your head. So now let's go to decision number two. Number two is budget, save, and get extra work and pay down your debt. And this one will actually help you keep your credit good. Your credit will not be messed up. So now, one of the things that you could utilize, and this is something that I had learned when I was going through my financial troubles, is that you can get deferments. Now, some of you have maybe got deferments, but you didn't utilize it in a way to benefit you. So if you haven't gotten deferments, or if you have gotten them and maybe it was only for like 30 days or something, let me tell you the strategy that you can utilize with deferments. And you can do this with everything that you have. Now, some people, they say, well, the interest is going to continue, and so I'm going to end up owing more money. You already owe a lot of money. What we're talking about is solutions. You have to, no matter what, with any solution, you have to dig yourself out of what you got yourself into. And if you got to pay a little bit more interest because of the solution, then you're going to pay a little bit more interest. That's why I said, how do you feel about yourself? Because when you start to understand, I need to be in the right mindset to move forward, then it's going to give you clarity on, yeah, I'm going to have to pay a little bit more interest, but the overall goal is to make sure that everything stays right in the household, that I stay right, that I'm good. So with the deferments, what you could do is you could do deferments on anything like credit cards, car, even credit card payments. Yeah, they're going to jack up on that interest, but still you could defer everything that you got, that you're paying on. But this is what I see a lot of people do wrong, is that they're deferring without a plan. You can't defer without a plan. That means that, let's just say, for instance, you could defer your payments. You got $5,000 in payments that are going out. That could be your house, cars, everything all added up. And you say, okay, I can call all of these creditors and get these deferments. Most of them will do 3 to 6 months. Your house could do upwards of a year of a forbearance. All of that money that you save, see, you got to save it. That's why I say people defer without a plan. They defer and spend the money that they saved on something else. Defer it, accumulate that money, and then put together a plan to pay down as much debt as you can before the deferment period ends. But here's the thing. This is why most people fail at this. So please listen. This is why most people fail at it. Remember earlier in the video I said that you got to start changing yourself. See, reason why you find it hard to even save any money unless somebody takes it directly out of your paycheck is because you don't even understand the feeling of saving money. So even when you have some deferments and let's just say you defer and you got $5,000 that you don't have to send out in payments, you got that. Right now, with your mindset, you're going to figure out a way to spend that $5,000. There's something that you wanted. There's something that you're going to do. There's a trip that you're going to take. There's something is going to come into your conscious mind and be like, now you got the money, you're going to take off, or you're going to do something to spend that money. That's what you have to be careful of. Because if you're not careful of that, the whole plan of action is not going to work. So you got to do deferment with a plan. It'll save your credit, those pay, and also you're not going out there getting another loan. You're actually working with your creditors, the same creditors that you have, and it will save your credit. That's number 2. So we got to understand it of number 2. Number 2 is saving your credit. You're going to budget, do deferments, work extra if you can. Don't kill yourself working extra, but work extra, do what you can, but you're going to have a deferment with a plan. And it's going to take some phone calls to get this done. There's no quick, easy, fast food way of making this work. Phone calls have to be made. And also, they will not negotiate debt with this. So don't think this is another big, huge misconception. When you do deferments and you let them know that you're in trouble with your debt, they are not going to start doing settlements. They can't do that. Also, with credit card companies, it could open you up to have those accounts closed. Still, if they close the accounts, that's not going to matter. Yeah, it can hurt your credit some, but what is the plan? Plan is to get you out of debt, and you'll be able to rebound. They'll probably open them back up once you go, start paying all that stuff down once you make it out of the deferment time frame. Number 3 is consolidating your debt. And when I say consolidating your debt, I'm talking about real debt consolidation. Not where a debt settlement company says, oh, you're going to consolidate your debt and in one payment to us, and then we're going to, settle on your debt. No, that is not consolidating debt. Let me tell you, this is what consolidating debt is. Getting a loan that will pay off all of your other debt, and you pay a payment to them, one payment to them. That's real debt consolidation. That's real debt consolidation. One loan, pay off everything, and you pay one payment back. Saves your credit, but you still got to change those habits, because you don't want to have them pay off all those credit cards and then you go and use those credit cards, and now you got to pay that loan and you're going to be building up debt again. So number 3, a real debt consolidation loan, where you go to a company, they pay off all of that other debt, credit is saved. It's up to you. I would suggest that if you are not good with managing everything, which you have kind of proven that, you might want to go ahead and close out all of those cards. You can reopen them later, but just close them at that, right at that time, or keep one that you can utilize for emergencies. But you're going to have to do that, and you're going to have to get used to being under that new habit of not spending money that you don't have and making sure that you make that payment. So if you get a real debt consolidation loan, I'm telling you what you need to do is let them pay those off, pay those payments, and don't go out and do nothing for a month. No, if you go shopping, you do like 50 Cent said, you do window shopping. Don't buy nothing. If it was up to me, you don't even go and buy coffee somewhere. Go buy you a Starbucks mug and then make the coffee in your house. You got to change all of those habits, and it's going to take about 30 days for you to get used to it. Option number 3 with consolidating will also save your credit. Now let's get into option number 4, which is full-fledged debt settlement. Now, some companies hide this as consolidating your debt. Don't be fooled. Debt settlement is exactly what I'm about to describe to you. Debt settlement is where, and also your credit is going to be tore up with debt settlement. Your credit will be destroyed with debt settlement. So the first thing is, with debt settlement, all of your accounts have to be charged off. The reason why they have to be charged off is because the companies are not allowed to start a negotiation process without the account going bad. They have to take it off the good books, put it on the bad books. When they negotiate it on the bad books, it tells the truth about the company status, tells the truth to the investors, all of that stuff. It reveals it because it says that account was moved over. Even if you get lucky and a company says, oh yeah, we'll go ahead and negotiate with you now, even before the charge-off process, when you look on your credit reports the next month, it's going to say charged off. So don't get pissed off about it. They have to do that. That's a banking regulation rule. They don't want them lying and saying that they got all of these people that's going to pay all of this money back, that the payments are good, and then they do a settlement and get half the money or 25% of the money or 10% of the money. And then the investors are like, well, on the good books, you said that these were performing accounts. So they have to do that. They're going to put it as a charge off. I'm telling you this up front because we've helped people do it and people have done it themselves, and they were upset when it was charged off, and we say that it's going to get, they have to do the charge off. So when you do debt settlement with any debt settlement company, you have to charge all of your accounts that you're going to put into the program has to charge off. Has to charge off because they can't do negotiations till they charge off. Now, the reason why the companies make you pay a monthly payment is because they don't trust you to save up money. That's the reason why they do it. Your monthly payment is not going to any of your creditors. It's going into an escrow account to build up so they can start paying down the debts as they negotiate them. With these debt settlement companies are going to charge you a premium of 20 to 25% when they settle a debt. So just as an example, let me tell you how this works. Let's just say that the debt is $10,000. They settle it for $5,000. So you just settle for 50 cents on the dollar. They also throw a premium of 20 to 25%. So that means that you're going to pay $7,500 for that debt settlement through the debt settlement companies. That's the way that they do it. That's the way that they make their money. You might be saying, well, dang, they just charged me $2,500. Well, you didn't have to pay $10,000. That's how they look at it. And that's how they want you to look at it. And that still is saving you money. But the problem is that people are not being told up front about how this whole thing works with those companies. Now, we do it totally different. We don't do it that way. But that's how it works with them. So, with debt settlement, accounts have to be charged off. Charged off means you haven't been making payments. Not making payments means your credit is destroyed. When you and also it means that those creditors could say, we don't care if you're in a debt settlement program, we're going to still sue you. They can do that. No debt settlement company can stop that, but only one debt settlement company has a service to help you with it. Credit Repair Shop. So, next thing, they negotiate for less. If you're doing this right now, I'm taking this as you're doing it for yourself. Negotiate for less, but back and forth. Be very careful that you don't disclose information that you don't want to disclose because that's going to hurt your ability to negotiate. That's why it's good to have someone in between to do the talking for you, because if they're doing the talking for you, if a question get asked that shouldn't be answered because it's going to leverage you against getting a good settlement, that person that's in between could say, get back with you, have a discussion with you, and then come back with an answer that would not leverage you against being able to get a good settlement. Had to do that multiple times. Just recently had to do that with a client. Still, even with this, you got to change those habits. You got to save money, because debt settlement doesn't work if you're not going to be able to offer settlement. So even with debt settlement, even with tearing up your credit, even with the charge-offs, you still have to have discipline to save money, because if you're going to work your way out of it, see, if we always go all the way back to the stick figure view about how you feel about yourself and being able to move forward. Because when you're going through this, they're calling you, slamming on your phone, debt collectors, letters, calling your job, calling your references, doing all of that stuff. If you don't feel good about yourself, you're not going to make it through that. You're going to get depressed. How do we not get depressed? Is that we understand that we have a plan and that you are your most important asset. That means that you go to work, you do your job, you run your business, you do everything to the best of your ability by feeling good, and you know that you have a plan of action on being able to tackle it and that you're going to stick to it. Remember, you got to burn that bridge of not wanting to follow through. And you can't be with this fast food mentality of it has to happen overnight. Depending on how much your finances are, depending on what your household needs are and what you got to do for yourself and your family, it could take time. It can take time. But you're sitting in front of me because you understand that this has to be done. And the sooner that you do it, the sooner you're going to be done with it. When I started mine in 1994, it took me to 1999. 1999, 5 years. We're in 2025 now. What if I would have waited? What if I would have stayed with number one and did nothing? If I would have stayed with number one? What if I would have stayed with number one? Or what if I would have just start, stop, start, stop, start, stop? Only reason why people start, stop is because they just indecisive. That's why it starts with you. You got to make that full decision. I don't know if you're lying to me about the decision. I don't know. You only know if you're lying and not going to follow through. You have to make that decision. I'm trusting you that you're going to make the right decision because you know that it's going to put you in a better position because you are your most important asset. And if you are taking care of yourself, family, everybody else, it's automatic. It's going to be automatic that they're taken care of. So now let's get to number 5. Number 5 is bankruptcy. Number 5 is bankruptcy. Some people might have to file, you might have to file bankruptcy. And I want to tell you that if you have to file bankruptcy, that you don't feel bad about yourself, that this is a financial decision that you have to make so you can continue to take care of the most important asset. I don't want you laying in bed, tossing and turning, can't sleep, getting sick, fighting with your spouse, going through all of that stuff. If you, once you go through number 1, 2, 3, 4, and you say it's just no workable plan to be able to get ourselves out of this, then you have to consider bankruptcy. And that bankruptcy decision is a family, financial, saving, face decision that potentially has to be made. And you can consult with a bankruptcy attorney in your area. But I think that not to be giving you legal advice or accounting advice, I think that I've given you some pretty damn good advice. Because I wouldn't tell you nothing that I wouldn't do for myself. And for my grandchildren that are growing up and you're watching this video and I could potentially be long gone, you know that your grandfather is giving you real deal information that I've used, and that if you find yourself in a situation, you can use this information to be able to move forward. Because you know your grandfather did it. Me, Stephen A. Williams, your grandfather did it. And to my children, I give them advice too. So number 1, if you have debt collectors suing you because you're already finding yourself in this situation, go to my website, thecreditrepairshop.com. We can help you. Go to the live chat. Give us your information. We'll follow back up with you. If you want to talk about doing a debt settlement program with us, go to my website. We're going to need all of your debt. We're going to require you to give us all that information, because we don't know what you're facing, and then we will tell you what we would charge, and we have an agreement, and we tell you what we would charge, and we get the job done. And you have to be willing to follow through on it. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch video What Makes Us Different so you can see my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, grab my 3-pack of letters, statute of limitations, debt validation, and cease and desist collection activities letter. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.